What's going on, York Yankees fans? Welcome back to another video. If you guys haven't already, hit the like button, comment, and subscribe. Turn on that notification button so you get notified when live stream pops or video drops. We're going to talk about the Royals series. I got this from the stadium, about $32 over the weekend. Very exciting experience. I'm not going to really discuss that in this video. I'm going to discuss the events of the game, but I'm probably going to end up saving that for another video, a vlog video, if the quality is good enough, or possibly the Boys and Big Apple podcast on Monday. So we obviously have to get the negatives out first, being game one was a negative. Next two games were positives, being wins, and then the first game being a loss. So with that being said, let's get right into it. So starters were Garrett Cole and Brady Singer. And one thing I was impressed with, just to go off the chronological order aspect, they knocked him out very well in terms of like working up the pitch count after 3.2 innings and a walk to load the bases. Brady Singer was out after 96 pitches. I mean, you can't get much better than working the count than that. With that being said, Luke Voit makes an early splash with a home run in the first inning. Then Kyle Higashioka, and a lot of Yankee fans criticize Aaron Boone or whoever to put Sanchez in there because of his hot streak and stuff like that. Because, Garrett Cole should not be working with his personal catcher. He should get used to Gary Sanchez. Well, that's a story now. Obviously, Yankee fans were a totally different mood a couple of months ago, but obviously this is the mood right now. I was iffy on it, to be honest, because I'm like, Gary's hitting well, but if he does well with Higashioka, but Higashioka, he shut Yankee fans up within a minute. In the second inning, he hit a dinger to left field. Then Whit Merrifield grounded out in the third inning and put the Royals up on the board, but the next inning over, someone who was being heavily trashed at Yankee Stadium, at least when I was there in the bleachers, it was kind of funny, but we'll talk about it more on Monday. Ryan O'Hearn, he knotted the game at 2 with his own homer. 4-4 game. The Yankees knocked out Brady Singer. Yankees stranded 3 with Stanton ground out in the fourth inning, which obviously, once again, runners in scoring position, they were 0 for 10. I mean, that's based probably solely off home runs or singles or stuff like that, because if you're 0 for 10 with runners in scoring position, what are you doing on offense? I mean, that just doesn't make a lot of sense. Probably some groundouts and stuff like that factors in as well. With that being said, Luke Voit had a triple, obviously because the fan interfered. I'm surprised they did not call that an out. But listen, umpires make the rulings, especially the ones in New York and whatever. But he hit a triple, and then Tyler Wade scored on the wild pitch in the 7th inning. And this is where it really gets hairy. The Wise guy gives up 2 hits. O'Hearn advances on the error. Wade trying to be Robinson Cano, and LeMahieu can't pick. So, as a second baseman, and I think this was this had to be, I think, O'Hearn. Yeah, it had to be O'Hearn. O'Hearn is not a fast guy, at least from my perspective. He is not a fast guy. If it's going to be power or speed, I think he's going to choose power because that's how built he is and whatever. As a second baseman, I know what Tyler Wade was trying to do, but in Little League, what do they always teach you? You have all the time in the world. That run was going to score either way because he was not throwing him out from there, and we'll talk about the next play. But he tried being Robinson Cano, Derek Jeter, whoever you want to compare him to. Low throw, DJ can't pick. And, tie game from there, and then it all goes downhill. Wade throws it home, had the runner at second. And I understand Gerard Dyson. He's been in the major leagues for multiple years. He's a speedy guy. But I don't understand people just sitting here defending Tyler Wade. And obviously, there were points in the future games that he did well, not well, whatever. But I'm very mishmash on Tyler Wade, as most of you know. But these beat reporters and these other content creators coming out, oh, it's the offense. Well, obviously, yes, with 0 for 10 with runners in scoring position. But we're going to not, talk about the fact that Tyler Wade threw home. And the infield wasn't even totally in. He had the runner in front of him, which I believe was O'Hearn. He could have tagged him, forced him out of the baseline, then just threw it to first. But no, he threw home, and not only that, he hesitated at throwing home. He was safe, no outs were created, and then from there, it's all mayhem. Hunter Dozier RBI single, Michael Taylor RBI single, DJ LeMahieu in the bottom half of the eighth, he homered to right field, 2-run shot, made it within one. But unfortunately, when DJ homers, it's bad luck. Like, I have seen that over the past 2 to 3 years. Love you, DJ, but unfortunately, there's some wicked spell every time you hit a home run that we don't win or something like that. With that being said, Rougned flies out with a runner on second, nobody out, and then, just the lack of offense. Yes, runners in scoring position, whatever. The Yankees lose 6-5. Garrett Cole had not the greatest start, but he had a good start. 7 innings pitched, 2 earned runs given up, 3 hits, 6 strikeouts, 3 walks, 1 home run, obviously being the O'Hearn shot, 2.33 ERA. Obviously, Loizaga gets a loss. He allowed 5 hits. That's not good. 4 earned runs, 2 strikeouts, and Ludge was the cleanup guy. He did well as usual, 2.48 ERA, 1 strikeout. He's one of the more underrated relievers in this league, Ludge. Not because I came out of spring training liking him, but this guy came back from a 6-year hiatus in the big leagues, and he's pitching like this. I mean, you cannot undervalue that or whatever. But he's been doing really well for the Yankees, more than some of the relievers at times. With that being said, let's go to Game 2, which has more positives, but obviously there has to be some negatives in there, right? With that being said, Ryan O'Hearn hits one to right field. They take an early lead, 2-0 in the first. Clint Frazier ties the game with an RBI 2-run double, 2-2 in the fourth. I didn't really watch this game. Obviously, as I said on Twitter, I was graduating high school, I was having parties and shit like that, so I didn't necessarily get to see all the game. I saw the bitter end of it. Obviously, it was great. With that being said, Chad Green worked out of King's jam in the fifth. Unfortunately, when King starts, I guess it's a wicked spell of some sorts, but it seems like he can't go 5 innings. I mean, I understand, like, when you are a relief pitcher, if they, have, I don't know, let's just say Garrett Cole or Jameson Taillon doesn't do well and they bring in King. Well, obviously he's in for Corey Kluber, so that's a different story, but we'll talk about it in another video. Yankees managed to get away with the stand check swing, but Voit misses the opportunity, strikes out. I mean, that's just runners in scoring position, once again. I don't care how many outs there are on the bases. The Orioles, one of the times they faced us, they hit with 2 outs. That's that. Then Carlos Santana in the top of the 8th put one in the left field seat, something he is known of doing. Rougned saves the day with a 2-run shot into the right field bullpen. Obviously, we thought he saved the day. Then Chapman walks in the tying run. And with that being said, Ryan O'Hearn gets his 3rd RBI of the game with a check swing single to the left side, 5-4. Gary Sanchez, once again, he started this game, powers back in the 9th inning in the clutch, 5-5 game. Then after an 0-for-4 skid, Luke Voit hits a walk-off single to left field, almost a home run. I thought it was, but obviously it went off the wall. Tyler Wade scored. Some negatives: Voit struck out 3 times, Judge struck out 4 times. Obviously, those two would sort of power back in the next game. We'll talk about it right now. In terms of starts and who was pitching, King, he did okay. 5 strikeouts, 1 home run. I'm still not with him because in some of these starts he really pisses me off. Even though sometimes he works out of jams, he gives up way too many hits. I gotta see what his opposing batting average is. 4.05 ERA, Chad Green, then Zach Britton. Then Chapman, obviously, with his 3rd blown save, but he does get the win with the lucky bottom of the 9th inning. So let's talk about the game I went to. It was a very fun game, as I said in the beginning. We definitely love to go back and actually sit in those seats once again, because I said on Twitter and Instagram, and I'll say this again, if you are not a soft person, and if you're a person that likes to hear drunk people cursing and stuff like that, you gotta sit in the bleachers. That is the most fun I've had at the stadium, and even for the fact that I hadn't been there in a year and a half. It was a great game. It really was. The experience, that stuff like that. I also met a couple people, podcasts, stuff like that. CJ from the 4 Line, great time overall, but we'll talk about that at another time. Judge powers one to right field in the first, home run, 1-0. And it's funny. This is the one thing I'll talk about with the experience. The first Royals game I went to, Royals Yankees, back in 2019 when Judge got hurt, Boone got ejected because of the Gleyber Torres out, which was actually supposed to be a home run, but according to the umpires, Judge was the second hitter in the lineup in the bottom of the first for both games, and hits a home run. So obviously, maybe next time I go to a Yankees-Royals game, he does the same thing. But now that I mentioned that, it's probably not going to happen. With that being said, Rougned Odor in the same inning knocks in a run with an RBI hit, 2-0 the first. Then an inning later, Judge knocks in his second RBI with a one-out RBI single. Then Voit to Detroit. He hit an opposite field homer to the right side, 4-0 from there. Then Sebastian Rivero, the catcher, or the actually backup catcher, but they had Perez, I think, DHing. He hits a RBI double. They get on the board 4-1. Jammo, I have to say this is probably one of his best starts, if not the, and I know I say that a lot for different pitchers. But he worked out of jams nicely. He got into the 7th inning, which I never thought he would have. I think that's probably the longest he's worked this year. First and 5th inning, he worked nicely out of jams. The 5th inning, obviously, gave that RBI double up, but didn't really suffer any damage from there because Nestor Cortes was warming in the bullpen, and people were like, oh my God, is this going to be his final inning? From there, he just settled nicely. With that being said, 6th inning, Gary Sanchez once again scares the Royals. Home run to left field, 7-1 from there. Taillon exits after 6.1 innings. Proud of him. Once again, Cortes does a heck of a job in the bullpen, 2.2 innings pitched, and he's just been really solid for the Yankees. Sucked a couple of years ago. Now he's part of a bullpen that's really good, but obviously has some faults to it as well. Stanton hits an RBI single in the 8th, 8-1. Then Frazier, Wade, and Gardy with no hits. That's the unfortunate part. But with that being said, Rougned Odor also went 3 for 4. I mean, how often do you see that out of Rougned Odor? Maybe it's because I was at the stadium. Who knows? With that being said, Jammo, really great start. 6.1 innings pitched, 5 hits, 1 earned run, 2 walks, 6 strikeouts. Then you have Cortes, who finished it up. 2.2 innings pitched, 1 hit, 2 walks, 5 strikeouts. I mean, that's just some good stuff by both of those pitchers. So with that being said, guys, if you haven't already, like, comment, subscribe, turn on that notification button so you get notified when live stream pops or video drops. I'm going to try to get a recap with Sox Arizona this weekend, obviously being that we're facing the Red Sox. Monday I'll probably discuss the stuff, the Yankee Stadium experience on the Boys in the Big Apple podcast. So that's going to be all fun and games. Hope you guys join me for the journey along the way through the summer. Obviously, I want more videos out there. So with that being said, guys, peace out, go Yankees, and see you later.